Hey, look at those Christmas lights. Almost like it's Vlogmas.
Hey there. So, I realized that I never really quite answered this question on the channel. I talk a lot about how I'm non-binary, I'm agender, but I've never really talked about what exactly that is. Like, I've talked about dysphoria, and I've said that it means I'm not a man or a woman, and that's true. But I've never really gotten into how that works. So basically there are two popular ways to conceptualize gender at the moment. The first is to view it as a social construct, and the second is to view it as an inherent part of who people are. And I think gender is some of both. We're going to talk about personality first. So I'm a Christian, which makes all of this a little more complicated for me to talk about. But that's okay, because I think this is the reality that God has made for us. So Christians believe that the human existence is comprised of three parts: the body, the mind, and the soul. And the body is like the physical to-be carcass of us. It's the vessel that contains our true selves. The mind is our thinking section, our analyzing and interpreting thing, and then the soul is the essence of who we are. So, I might be wrong, but I think that in the people who have a gender, that gender resides in the soul, and that I can notice, or I feel the lack of a gender in my soul. It's very much a defining part of who I am. It's not the defining part of who I am, but it's a defining part of who I am. And it feels very essential to my being. Right? Okay. So I think it's like deeper than a personality thing, and it's very much an innate part of who I am. At the same time, I also think that gender is a social construct, or at least our perceptions of it, because that changes. Different societies look at gender in different ways, and like people have these feelings, but the more language we have to describe it, the easier it is to recognize. But gender is pushed on us even before infancy. Like, I was labeled one way before birth, and then they changed the label at birth, because they were wrong, except they were wrong both times. But there's a very present narrative in our society that says all people with this genitalia are one way, and all people with this genitalia are the other way, and the kids in the middle need to be mutilated until they look conveniently enough like one thing or the other. And so there is this real construct that we have to grapple with. But at the same time, it's also just an innate thing. So, like, I don't really know what gender is. I mean, I also don't know what gender feels like, because I don't have one. I'm agender. It's very much a difficult thing to figure out. It's very weird, and I can't talk through it as much as I want to, and get feedback from people because of where I, like, go to school, and who my parents are, but I just thought I ought to throw an actual definition out there. And, I don't know what's happening with Vlogmas, but, since I'm done with my exams, it should be, better. Yeah. I hope you have a great day.